Yo, what's up, man? What's going on?
High five. I'm so happy to talk to you. You have no idea.
Yo, man, what's going on, D? I'm gonna call you D, man. What's going on, D?
You know what? I'm living in these moments. You know what I mean? I'm trying to figure out what's next. I'm trying to be like you. I'm trying to take the path that you have created for so many of us.
Well, listen, man, you guys are doing an amazing job. I can't believe what the time that we're living in now, and the crisis that's going on. But listen, helps to you guys. You guys are doing it proud, man. You guys are. Man, I'm so impressed and so proud of what you guys are doing.
Well, we appreciate it, and I know you've done so much in your life, and I want everybody to hear about that. You've done so many things. Can you do me a favor? I know as we talk, just as we set up, can you just aim the camera down a little bit? I want to frame you perfectly, like a perfect picture. Ooh, boom. That's what I'm talking about. That's excellent. But you've done so many things in your life, and I hope you're able to give so many nuggets, as I know you will, to so many people that are watching today. But just before we get started, just letting everybody know, my name is Dhani Jones, and our guest today is Mr. Randy Jackson. And for everybody out there, there's real power in the world, as Randy's talking about, by helping others. And that's what Stand Together Live is all about. It's a conversation about amazing people like Randy that are giving little nuggets of hope and inspiration to everybody that's sitting at home. But we're also raising awareness around hashtag Give Together Now, which has been a response to help those that have been financially affected due to COVID-19. And I want to give people a little bit of an update. Randy, I think you'll like this. Up until this point, we've raised $58,485,182.
Wow.
The reason I'm so specific about these numbers is because every single penny, dollar, will go to a family that's been financially affected. All that money will go directly to families, and that's 116,970 families. Oh, Sonia Richards Ross just jumped on. Thank you, Sonia. Brandon Farbstein, he's on too. What's going on? But Sonia and Brandon, they came on the show. They helped us raise money. Randy, you're helping us raise money. I mean, it's mind-blowing, the power of communities.
Wow, man. I mean, big props to you guys, man. I'm telling you, listen, this is so amazing. You guys are so blessed, man. Thank you, God. Wow. I had no idea it gotten to that point now, but
yeah,
I've been watching it. It just continues to grow. It just shows you that this is what the world needs, man, right now.
And the
we
other
here
part
are so lucky to have you guys.
Well, thank you. And there's another part, like people can give kindness too. And if you give kindness, there's one of our amazing donors contributed $2.5 million, and they just want to unlock and be able to see kindness. And so if you get out there and you give an act of kindness and you tag Stand Together Foundation and you hashtag Give Together Now, we will pass along $500 on your behalf. And we've crossed the 1,200 acts of kindness mark, close to 1,200, but we need to get to 5,000. So without further ado, I want to just focus all my efforts towards you, Mr. Randy Jackson. And he's a bassist, he's an entrepreneur, he's a vocalist, he's a producer, he's an A&R specialist, American Idol. I mean, there's so many things that you've done in your life. The list goes endless. Do you ever get tired? It seems like you just are always doing more and more. So the first question I have to ask you is like, why? Why do you continue doing so much?
Well, I think, listen, you're born with a certain spirit. All of us are, right? So you got to find out what that is in you and what drives you, and hopefully that will lead you to where you're supposed to be in this world. So to me, I think about the things that I've been so blessed to achieve and accomplish, and it's just a continuation, you know what I mean? It's like, do all we can do in this life, you know what I'm saying? Be all you can be, keep striving, keep hoping, always set new goals. I'm just one of those guys that was born with that spirit. It's like, I think a lot of us have that spirit, but I think the world weighs us down. The situations that we encounter weighs us down. Depression, physicality, all sorts of things weigh us down. And, we just got to rise above. I mean, I think that's why prayer, meditation, yoga, all these things really help and work. So I'm just trying to continue the process, man. I think Donny Hathaway said it brilliantly years ago, evolution of the man.
Woo! Evolution. Well, there's definitely evolution of all people, but there's been an evolution of yourself, and it started at a young age when you just found your passion, where you leaned in to the world of music. What was your first encounter with music at a young age when you were living in Baton Rouge, Louisiana?
You know, I grew up in the hood there, and like one of the local bands, which was so dope to me, used to rehearse on the bass player's front porch, which was like 2 blocks from me. So, you know, in the hood, it's like an organic block party. Music
Right.
starts going on, people bring their own chicken, their own food, their own drinks. You know, you're just going in, you know what I'm saying? So I was sitting there as like a little boy standing in the crowd going, wow, this is incredible. And right before that, my brother started playing drums. So I was like, man, I love music. You know, I had music in the house bumping off, in the church bumping off, wanting to play in the church, wanting to do all of this. And man, listen, that's, you know, the band was called Big Bo Melvin and the Nighthawks, and the bass player Sammy Thornton. I mean, these guys were just so dope. They were playing all the latest hits. So I was so enamored. So I was like, yo, that's what I need to do. That's me. I need to, I need to be a part of that.
You know, it's amazing. I wish they would come up with like the names that they had back in like the early 70s and 80s, the names for the bands versus the ones they have now. They were just so much more creative back in the
I
day.
agree, man. I agree. People need to be creative. Although on the alternative side, I think people are creative. You know, you got Flying Lotus, which is a cool, dope play. So I think people are getting more interesting. You know what I mean?
Right. And well, at least you hope that they continue to be like that. But, you know, can kind of continue down that path. You know, you said that music was ethnically rich. What you mean by that? You know, growing up in Louisiana, I'd imagine it was all the different ingredients of the bayou and all the experiences. But what did ethnically rich in music mean to you?
Well, it meant that Louisiana is one of the greatest places to me in the whole world, because I liken it to, especially New Orleans, I liken it to like a European city in America in the South. If that
Right.
could ever be, but it's the closest thing you get to that. Whereas if you're in Italy, people only care what goes on in Italy. In New Orleans, people only care what goes on in New Orleans. And in Louisiana, you get the blues, you get the rock, you get the R&B, you get the hip hop, but you also have Dixieland, which
Yeah.
originated there, which is a form of jazz, and Louis Armstrong and all those greats. Then you also have the Zydeco thing with Clicks and Chenier and all of that, which is its own brand of thing. It's almost like Kentucky has that a little bit with the bluegrass.
Right.
But in Louisiana, you have a bunch of this. So there was every genre known to man there. So, I mean, you know, you grow up with all of these fruits and you go like, well, what do I want to put together my potpourri? What's my gumbo,
Right.
if you pardon the phrase, it's going to be like? Am I going to put crab? I can put everything in it.
What's my crawfish in your etouffee?
Exactly. So, like, you know, what do you see it? How do you see it? Paint your own picture. Be your own Picasso, you know, whatever.
So how did you find your voice? How did you find your sound amongst all of the greatest artists that you've been able to play with? I mean, I feel like sometimes you can kind of get lost in some of the design and some of the music that somebody else might bring. How do you kind of arrive and find your own unique flavor, if you will?
Well, I mean, for me, you know, I grew up with so many influences, and I say to people, remain open, right? Remain open to all the possibilities. Never close yourself off, because as soon as you close yourself off, that's when you start losing royally. So I just listened to music I heard. I mean, one of the interesting things about this quarantine has been, I've been retracing steps, listening to old music, new music, everything, and just loving, like, you know, reintroducing myself to things that I grew up with that I love. So, you know, I'm kind of like a 70s music baby. I still think it's the greatest time in the history of music ever, because you had the funk movement, which I wish would come back. You had, you know, you had P-Funk, you had Gap. I mean, you had all of these dope, interesting, I mean, P-Funk. Just examine that for a second. Paul McFunkadelic. They had spaceships, they had these outfits. The band was like a fusion funk band. Bootsy Collins. I mean, dude, that in itself is just so phenomenal, with all sorts of things, from rock, from R&B, from soul, from everywhere. So I just think it was a rich time. You had Hendrix, you had, you know, Zeppelin. I mean, you had Beatles, you had Motown, you had everything. So I was open to all of it to try and paint my own picture. And when I was able to paint after I ingested it all, it's kind of what came out. So, you know, I never thought about any of the other stuff other than just being musically free.
Was there somebody that was one of the most unique musicians that you kind of met along the way that you still remember to this day? Like, wow, that was crazy being able to spend time with them or be able to play with them, or somebody specific that we may not even have heard of?
It wasn't so much that. Of course, at first I wanted to emulate the bass player in that local band that was rehearsing in the hood on the front porch, Sammy Thornton. And I later took lessons from him because I was so enamored. And, you know, I met a lot of greats with him at the time. But it was Coltrane and Hendrix.
Okay.
That really set my mind ablaze, because John Coltrane, to this day, is the ultimate primo musician ever across any genre. Classical, whatever. This guy could circular breathe. He's playing in all the modes. This is why in every jazz school in America, they study him. People have played giant steps 80 bazillion times, and they'll continue to, because he just was a study of the whole thing. I mean, you know, diving deep, Nicholas Slimsky book of like the Saracen scales, and like this guy was just the ultimate consummate musician. So then on the rock side, Jimi Hendrix, a black dude that used to be in the Isley Brothers. People don't even know who the Isley Brothers is. The Isley Brothers were dope as hell. So, like, he was a black guy playing rock with a trio in the 70s. And I'm like, wait a minute, we can do that too? We ain't all got to be James Brown. I love James Brown, but like, we can do that? So my mind was blown. So when I see what Lenny Kravitz, what Prince, what others have done, and then I see one of my greatest influences ever, Sly and the Family Stone, I go, these people gave you the show, they gave you the music, they gave you individual different style, uniqueness, and they were just unbelievably dope with hit songs. So for me, I was like, yo, I want it all, y'all. I gotta have it all. What am I doing if I ain't got it all?
But that's the way that you've lived your life. You've lived your life through this sort of lens of curiosity, and you haven't stopped. And so I'd imagine like all of those different nuggets that they provided to you also allowed you to find your own uniqueness within yourself.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you for that.
Because as I think about it, you know, you've also lived in a time where you came up while music was changing. There was an evolution of music, and then you sort of pivoted through another. There's been several evolutions of music even to this point now, and I wonder, as you look across sort of like the spans of the several decades that you've been involved in the world of music, like, has there been one thing, a la maybe Coltrane, that has kind of stuck through, that people have oftentimes followed and stuck with?
Yeah, I mean, I think you see music constantly changing even now. This is what the COVID thing is further doing that, because I've been saying on a lot of these, as you so eloquently pointed out before we got on, this is a giant reset time for the world. And I mean, music is like fashion and art. They all follow each other hand in hand. Mm-hmm. So to me, the dope musicians always push the envelope. The reason Jay-Z's still current, he's still got the hottest pen in the game.
Yes.
So he's always pushing the envelope. I mean, you know, you got all sorts of people doing that on all sorts of levels. I think Prince and Michael Jackson, God rest their soul, did that. They pushed the envelope. So I think, you know, we often have these things, if we look at them as these guides and these mentors in life. I feel like a lot of music's changed now. I look at how hip hop is now influencing the country game. Who would have thought that that would happen? I mean, you know, and it won't be any great degree. I mean, Lil Nas X was like a phenomenal thing and an anomaly that's going to happen. But right. Even the beats on Florida Georgia line are getting like hip hop. And so you're like, oh my God, the infiltration is crazy. So I think that melding of things, we just should continue to watch. And I think there's a lot of greats. I mean, you look at what Drake has done, you look at what Post Malone's now doing, you look at the whole hip hop game, you look at the urban game with her, who's so unbelievably talented, Gabby. I mean, you look at all these great talents and you go, okay, so it's a continuation. But what I love the most is people are most importantly being themselves and finding out who they are and not copying and following just a trend. No room for followers. We need leaders more than ever, bro. Come on, D. Come on, Big D.
Well, look, if I had that ability, you know, I will tell you this. My sister has the ability, and she actually came on American Idol. But we'll talk about that a little bit.
How did she do? Wait a minute. Hang on. How did she do, yo?
You might have tossed out, that's going to be a no for me, dog.
Oh, look at you.
But,
oh, my God. I didn't know it was your sister, man.
I know it's okay. She's going to jump in there in a second. I'm sure she's going to be in the comment side. I'm more of a karaoke.
Tell her to sing
myself.
something for us now. Log on. Come on, girl. Get it. Here's your chance to redo. Let's do a makeover.
You know what? I might take you on that. I actually gave her an idea. I told her that, you know, one of the ideas that she could do is create country music. There she goes, Tequila Jones. She's right there. She should have just jumped in and done country music. I think she would have done an amazing job. But just like her being able to cross over several different genres of music, you've been able to cross over and be within the music industry and played several different roles. And so I was wondering how those roles that you've played within the music world have contributed to your passion as well as your skills and how they've evolved.
Well, I had an early mentor as a producer, a guy named Tom Dowd, who was part of the Atlantic Records thing that did all the Aretha, all the Ray Charles, all the Rod Stewart. And he gave me a great lesson when I was young, just being a musician and a session player on a record in San Francisco. He said to me, pick up the Billboard magazine, look at the top 10. He said, no, look at the top 20. Is there anything in this that you love? I looked at it and I go, yeah, that stuff is cool, but I'm not really vibing with most of it. I mean, I don't know. He said, that's exactly what I thought you'd say. Because most musician people don't understand popular music at a guttural level. So he said, listen, your job in life as a producer, as a record maker, as a writer, as a player, is to find out why people are gravitating towards those songs, whether you like them or not.
Right.
And find out how you can apply that to what you're trying to do. Because you want them to love you. So I love all kinds of music. People say, what's your favorite? I love music. I'm a music head, from classical to opera. I love music. I just love it. So I never put like a buffer, say, oh, I can only rock hip hop in my car, man, with the windows and the top down. Like, yo, I got to be hard in this. No, I love everything. So if it's dope, I'm going to love it. But it needs to be dope. And it needs to be sort of original. Because, I mean, I'm not looking for the copies. So what I've done is continue to evolve with myself, become an entrepreneur, try different products. Like I got my Unify Health Labs line that I started. We got Randy Jackson Eyewear that we started. We're managing a bunch of writer producers. We got actors, actresses. We got TV shows we're developing, scripted, unscripted. We're involved in movies. We're involved with chefs. We manage chefs. So I've continued to grow that in things that just inspire me. So maybe it's what inspires us, because if you're inspired by it, it won't feel like a job. So if you can make that work and figure out a way to make financial gain from it, man, it won't feel like work at all because you love it.
I love that. And I think everybody can take note that you can be inspired by it. And I think going back to you were saying before about the reset, a lot of people maybe are not inspired by what they're doing currently. And you've talked about it before.
What am I doing? What serves me?
Yeah, right, exactly. And right now is the point where you can look at, like you're saying, the unique gifts that you've or other people have identified within you, as we talk about all the time, we stand together, and you can make a hard pivot, and you can change to do something else in your life, like some of the stuff that you're talking about. And I want to get into that, but one of the things I want to do right now is really just take a quick second to acknowledge everybody on here. Again, we're with Randy Jackson. If you don't know Randy Jackson, you just need to Google it. How about that?
No,
How
you
about
guys
that?
are fine. Don't worry about it.
How about
Stand
that,
together,
dog?
man. There's no I in success. Remember, there's a we in success. All of us. I'd have a lot. D's had a lot. Stand together means it's a group. It's a group effort.
Indeed, it's a group effort. It's a community effort, and up until this point, with hashtag Give Together Now, we've affected over 116,970 families by giving them cash transfers of $500. And
Bless
remember,
you,
for everybody, thank you. For everybody out there, you can always give kindness, and make sure you hashtag Give Together Now, as well as tag the Stand Together Foundation, and we'll find it and we'll pass along $500 for you. But Randy, I want to tell you about a young lady who actually received $500. Her quick story: she worked as a nail tech prior to COVID-19. Immediately lost her job when shelter-in-place orders were put into action. She's a single mother of 3 boys from Louisiana. Okay, and the $500 from hashtag Give Together Now allowed her to pay for homeschool expenses, cell phone bills, cover the cost of groceries. She was in disbelief that the efforts allowed her to use the money in whatever way she found was necessary to support her family. She said, Randy, you have helped a lot of low-income. So I'm asking you, you've helped a lot of low-income families, right? With the childhood obesity program. You know, how do efforts like this help those who are trying to escape poverty in uncertain times like this? Because, you know, we're helping people around hashtag Give Together Now. You've helped people, but in times like this, it's communities across the board that need everybody's help.
I think you hit it on the head. It's time for all of us to join together. That's why Stand Together is so amazing. It's time for everybody to join together. Those of us that are so blessed, me, you, a lot of us, we have to pay it forward. I feel like that's always the way, the responsibility, right? So I employ everyone out there, do what you can. And I think you made a great point, because I see a lot of these, I've been on a lot of them, but listen, that thing, an act of kindness, wow, sometimes that goes a long way with people, just offering, there is help. That compassion and humility that you can show your neighbor, your friend, just another person you don't even know, is so unbelievably great and grateful. That is truly God's work.
As you've been sheltered in place, and as you walk around your neighborhood, times when you get out, I'm sure, exercising, have you seen those acts of kindness yourself, or have you been caught off guard by sort of the changing way that people are acting, you know, in this world right now?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I see everything that's happening, and I see, you know, it's like people want to come together. People want to help people now more than ever. You still got some of the knuckleheads and the crazies out there doing whatever, but that's the way the world is, right? You can't have all one thing. There's always going to be a combination of the good, the bad, and the indifferent, right? That's the way the world is. You know what I mean? We got free will. After all, God gave us free will. It's up to you to choose, So, yeah, I see that. And I mean, you know, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like, you know what? We're going to get through this. We can get through this. Positivity's on the other side of this. And I mean, what we're going through right now, this too shall pass. And guess what? There must be something great on the other side.
So one of the things I know I got to talk about is your experience during American Idol. I saw one of the interviews, and you were talking about how, you know, you got selected, Simon got selected, and you guys were just A&R guys.
We were a different breed than just a star on the show.
So what was that first? You know, you said you were just taking a leap of faith on it. You didn't even know if it was gonna work out, but it did. What allowed you sort of the belief system to kind of just go out and do that anyways?
You know, I was an A&R guy for a long time. I was frustrated in that. I was thinking, you know what? I don't know. I need to do something different. You know, as I say, I live by evolution of the man. You know, you can feel it in your skin. You go like, man, God, I mean, I love these artists. I love making records.
Right.
I love this company. I love these labels, but man, I need to do something else. This is no longer serving the way I want to serve and do. You know, I was just frustrated. So this came across my lap. through a great agent friend of mine, Jeff Frasco, who's a dear friend, one of my best friends. He's at CAA, and I give him a shout out because he came up with it for me. So I took a leap of faith because, you know, in all honesty, and you won't hear anyone probably but me say this stuff, just TBH, keeping it very super real. Music shows on TV are generally corny as hell. Even the ones that are on now are still corny as hell. They're not cool. So it's hard to make music cool on TV because music is art. That's why you don't see a lot of shows on TV about art, because everyone has a different experience and a different thing of it. So you almost have to sort of loosely produce music and the art and what people say. It's like loosely scripted what it is. That's why so many of these shows are the same. So music on TV is usually not cool. That's why most of the people that win these shows are some pop singer. So does the world need another pop singer? No. The world needs another unbelievable talent, but I think it's harder and harder to find those because the cool people, the Bob Dylans, the Princes, think about the people that would have never done these shows. That answers your question. So Michael, I mean, none of these people.
But they also grew up in a different time. And so
even if it was now, they wouldn't have done them. You see, because what it really is, it's a rocket ship to the top. It's like trying to transplant. For me, I played 1 billion shows before I made $4. So, but it taught me and I learned. I wasn't on a TV show that I got 10 million in audience. Even if I was on 4 episodes, when I got off of there, I could fill out a club. No. Filling out the club for what? And the question needs to be, are you dope enough to even be on this? And are you unique enough?
True.
So I think, listen, for me, I didn't know if it was going to work because I would say to myself, music shows are corny, scripted, unscripted. That's why it's tough. They're just corny as hell. I mean, I'm just keeping it real.
So how did you identify the unique gifts of the talents that were coming on the show?
Kyle and I were A&R guys, so you got to remember something. And the reason I say that, I don't think people understand. We were not stars. We were not household names like these stars on these shows already. We did exactly what these shows are about. This was our job. So, whoa, this makes too much sense all of a sudden. Wait a minute. Guys, that this is actually their job, signing, finding, developing talent, making records, putting them out. They're now judges on a talent show about singing? Right. Whoa, okay. So that's part of the reason. So when we saw somebody, 40 boxes went down by their head before they even walked in and started singing. We were ticking off each box. Eyes too close together, knees knock me, needs a hair makeover, facial makeover, I don't know, look shy, clothes. I mean, you know, we were just going through it. So as soon as you heard 2 or 3 notes, you go, right, no lower range, vibrato's too shaky, no upper range, got 5 notes in the middle. So we also could identify right away, I'm taking you really inside the game. We could also identify right away who are the writers, producers, and people that you work with them for what they did and what they had. So we kind of could suss it out right away. It's a different thing. I mean, you know, and we're not in a competitive sense. So I think, you know, a lot of artists want to find the greatest next, but nothing, I'm sure, to replace them.
Yeah, you said on a talk show that in a lot of the different episodes, you already had identified who was going to win right out of the gate because you had already seen so much talent. And I think that there probably been people in your life that have identified or helped you even identify your unique gift as being a talent. And you talk about oftentimes about surrounding yourself with good people.
Honest people.
Honest, good people. How have they influenced your life, those that have been in your camp and supported and lifted you up?
Man, listen, I had so much help. I'm so blessed. I had so many people that take me under their wing. I mean, that I played with, that I talked to. I listened to them. Trust me. Also, one of the other interesting things about Idol, I was the Idol before the show happened. Mm-hmm. So I was that kid in Louisiana trying to make it, trying to get out, trying to make something of my life. So I know the struggle. I live the struggle Every other artist has lived a struggle too. So that's where we all meet in the middle. But I can't say enough. So many people help me. I'm truly so blessed, so unbelievably blessed that, and you know, one of the things I say though, is you got to be open, you got to listen, and you got to be able to apply it. I was terrible before I got good, before I thought I was any good, before I thought I was pretty good, before I thought I was very good, if I ever was. So I really, really took it to heed. And it's the no's that help us. It's those honest people that go, it ain't good enough yet.
Right.
Because you're in a competition out here, fool. I don't know what you think you're doing. Just because you cute, you sexy, you can dance and you can sing. You're in a competition, even in the church.
Yes.
Dude, Kim Burrell and Smokey Norfolk and them gonna sing you beneath the whole bleachers. And the Clark sisters, what are you doing? So you're gonna sing with the Clark sisters?
But who was in your camp? Who was a specific person that that you really relied upon, that was giving you that feedback and that truth that you talked about that you needed to hear?
Well, there was the teacher, Sammy Thornton, from that band. There was another blues guy I used to play with. There was another guy, Clarence Gatemouth Brown, God rest his soul, from Orange, Texas, blues man. There was a lot of people, because I would always sponge and ask questions. I would say, hey, what do you guys think? I mean, you know, is the show good tonight? Are we playing good? What, you know, what do you think I can improve on? So I was open. I always asked people, and then I took that to heart. And I mean, I would take time off from even performing and just go in the woodshed and go crazy.
So what would you do? And would you be by yourself, or would you bring other people?
I play by myself a lot, practice by myself, get some tips, some lessons from others, work on that. Just really trying to become, because you know, some of the stuff is by rote. So the dexterity is by rote. You really need to physically get in the body of it and in the mindset of it. And I would just study hard, man. What was Bootsy? What was Larry Graham thinking? What was Stanley Clarke thinking? What was Jocko thinking? What were all these greats thinking when they did, like, they played this part? What was James Brown thinking? Make it funky. How did it, like, oh my God, there was a time. What was that like?
Yes.
Unbelievable groove, like, that never changed. I mean, like, just what was Hendrix, man? What was Zeppelin? I mean, turning the beat around. What was, you know, how did the Beatles come up with that? What was Motown? You know, Stop in the Name of Love, these great songs. How are they doing all of this? So I would really study and dive in.
A couple of people are just saying in the comment section, and my mom's actually in the comment section, and she said, you know, it's important to recognize and understand our mentors. And another person said in the comment section that's important to ask and be receptive to advice, because I think a lot of times people aren't in that position. And so, you know, as we talk about from Stand Together, and you have surrounded yourself with good people, it is that community that allows us to be where we are, and to understand our unique gifts in order to be even better than we might even know that we can be. And so, yeah. Your trajectory through the music world is taking you to a lot of different places, but now you're switching your attention, right? So music has been a part of it. You're doing a lot of stuff around different entrepreneurial things. What made you kind of make a complete 180 shift and start focusing on health?
My years on Idol and being on TV and being in front of the public, because, you know, as an A&R guy, you're in clubs, you're in bars, you're at shows, kind of behind the scene, you're sitting at a desk, or I didn't really have a desk, I had sofas and bean bags and grass on the floor. You know, I'm kind of one of those revolutionary, kind of crazy, eccentric guys. But I think it really was just trying to get healthy, because I was very unhealthy. I mean, you know, I remember being on the judges panel one day in the auditions, and somebody comes in, yeah, well, you're heavy and you're fat. I go, yeah, I got mirrors in my house. Don't you think I know that? So, but you know, you see that and you go like, okay, I need to get my life together. I need to really get it together. And I ask you out there, are you doing everything you can for the betterment of your life? Maybe
Yes.
the reset is that for you. Are you doing everything you can within your power to make your life better? It was really that simple question. Look, I'm on a hugely successful TV show. Life is good. Got my family, my kids, the whole thing. I need to get my health together because health is the new wealth. So that's what led me to starting Unified Health Labs. I wanted to help people and pay that forward, the stuff that I've learned, how I lost weight, how I stay healthy now, because I would say I go to people's houses or whatever, and they got 35 bottles on the countertop,
Right.
different vitamins and minerals that they're taking. They don't
They don't
know
even know
how
what
much
to
to
take.
take of what. So I said, let me demystify this and take that out of it. I got together with the great Dr. Molina, who's a great nutritionist and internist here in town in LA. I just teamed with some great professionals. We studied, we got in and came up with these formulas that I'm really proud of and I want to stand behind, because I actually want to help people, because I want them to do what I'm doing. I use it as how I stay healthy and how I burn calories, keep the weight off, and do my thing. So I'm like, hey, maybe this can help somebody. I don't know, let me try it. Because it's something that I do. So for me, you and I'm looking at us, we both wearing eyewear. That's how I started with the eyewear. I actually wear glasses. So I'm one of those, it's got to be real for me, you know, something I deal with and I do, you know what I mean?
Well, I think I might have to go to your site and go grab me a set of new spectacles, if you will, so I can support you. But, you know, what does it mean? What does it mean for you to positively affect so many people, right? Especially around health and wellness. What does that mean to you?
You know, it makes me feel good. You know, it makes me feel like I'm offering people something that can really help them. It offers them hope and that they can get their lives together, because I say, health is the new wealth, bro. You ain't got that, you ain't got nothing. You gotta have a whole bunch of money. Most people I know have a whole bunch of money and miserable, and not all of them are healthy. So, you know, the money will have you buy more stuff, but it ain't gonna necessarily make you healthy. So that's a choice you have to make. So in that box of choices, which the reset is helping us remind us of,
Right.
am I making the choices that are better serving my life? If I'm not, I need to change the choices. Do I like where I am in my life? If I don't, I need to consult and change my choices. Why do I keep making the same choice over and over? What do they say, that insanity plea is somebody keeps doing the same thing over and over expecting a different result? Yeah, it's completely insane. I did this before, I did it 20 times, I keep doing the same thing. I know if I have these 12 donuts, I ain't gonna feel good. I may get diabetes, bad things are gonna happen. But I wanna have them because, you know, it's also tapping into the emotion and what causes and creates that. So, you know, that health and wellness work hand in hand, because the wellness is also wellness and health in a mental, physical, emotional way. Because, you know, eating sometimes is an emotional thing. You know what I mean? For a lot of people, it was for me. I grew up in the South, man. The stuff is the sweetest stuff I've ever had in the South,
I
other than
know
what you had in Michigan. Michigan is sweet too.
I know it's sweet across the board. I mean, you know, everybody has their cheat day, I'd say, and I gotta say, you know, I remember seeing you in LA, and you look completely different. And I'll tell you this: you look great, and I'm glad that you've been able to develop Unified Health Labs and be able to help so many other people that are out there. And there's a quote right here that I remember that you said in the sort of downturn times. This is what you said, that when you pounce, that's when you go in, because people's minds are open to new innovative ideas. So what's a tip people at home can use to innovate their own communities, not just personally, but also those that are around them?
Well, you got to remember something. You need to do it for yourself first before you can advise others. That's part of the problem. We're all good at telling other people what to do, but we ain't doing it ourselves. So if we ain't doing it, what are we really doing? So if you're going to tell me, I'm going to look at you and I'm going to consult the source and go like, well, he and she ain't doing it. Why should I listen to them? So as soon as people come up and tell me something, I go, who told you that?
Right.
So I go in my analytical mind and go, they don't know what they're talking about, because they ain't what I believe. So you got to be able to substantiate this by showing me you're doing it. So I take Unified Health Labs. I designed it with a bunch of experts and my team of professionals and doctors. So I'm using it. That's why I say you should use it. I'm not saying you should use it. I don't know nothing about it. whatever, whatever, whatever. It's like me saying, D, go out and get these glasses. I don't wear glasses, but I think you need some, brush up on your shades, bro. You know what I'm saying? So that's the real essence right there. I love the quote from the airplane. The plane is going down, the oxygen mask will drop down. Put your mask on first before attempting to help others. Why aren't we doing that? That's the thing that we got to get going, because listen, are you doing everything you can do? Hello.
Well, I got to shout out comedian Stephanie Glickman, who was talking about you helped raise $70,000 for Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. So you're definitely a person that brings the rest of the community to the table. And although you're helping yourself, which you need to do first, in order to get yourself into the right mind space, you've also been able to extend that out to help other people. So
I love kids, man. I love kids. I love everyone. I think we all have to pay it forward. If we're lucky and blessed enough to become celebs and have any voice and any platform to speak from, you and I are doing it today. We got to push to try and help others, to lend that hand, that olive branch, that whatever, to help big up people, push them up, help them, educate them, inform them. I mean, I feel like that's my duty because, look, I didn't have to have this. I didn't have to be so blessed, but praise God, I am in many ways. And so, I got to pay it forward. That's just my natural, intuitive thing that I know I have to do. That's me, being compassionate and humble and paying it back, because I think that's what God really wants us to do.
So one of the things that you always talk about is what's next. Where does that mindset come from, and how did you kind of identify that as being a part of your mantra?
Evolution, right? So, right, you and I say, let's open up a restaurant. We're going to open up a coffee shop with whatever the food, a cafe. We open it up. The thing is bustling. It's just blowing out of the meter. It's like crazy. Like everything's jumping off. People are buying. Someone came and keep stuff in stock. And it's going strong like that for years. And we see no sight of it ending. In fact, as soon as we think it's going to end, it gets bigger.
Yes.
You have to say to yourself now, okay, now I've achieved that. I've proved to myself that I can do that. What else do I want to do? And what can I do as a side? And attached to that, how do I want to grow now? Because it's about growth. Evolution means growth. Where are we now? Where are we going now? Okay. So we got the pandemic coming out of this. What do we do? What is it teaching us? Yes, it's terrible. It's horrible. It's sad. Hopefully we're all blessed and, we get through this together as people and, not too many people lose their lives or people don't lose their lives. But what are we going to do now? Now that we can have a rethink about it, and we've been sitting here with everything but time to think about how we're going to do it. How will we do it now? How have we evolved? And we all seek wisdom out there, whether we think we do or not. We get these tidbits and these lessons. Are you using the wisdom? Somebody told you and you believed and you got this thing in your mind. Are you using that? So for me, all my doctors, Unified Health Labs, that's what I did. That was the whole thing. The whole idea is what I learned. I created a company and a thing to pay it forward from my voice. And for me, because it's everything I learned going into trying to create my own best health.
Well, I'm excited about your new company. I'm excited about all the things that you've done. And I'm personally going to take the wisdom that you've been able to pass along today, because I think that you've informed us greatly and those that are listening in as well. And so I just invite everybody to ask questions and type them into the comment area. We're going to see them, and I'll turn around and ask Randy those little tidbits. But I just wanted to also allow people to know about these acts of kindness that we talked about a little bit earlier in the show with Randy. And one of our donors, as I mentioned before, said, I'll give $2.5 million simply for acts of kindness. And these can be pictures of an amazing mural that might be on someone's driveway that you take an image of, or videotape yourself paying for someone else's groceries, or take an image of one of these amazing signs that people have, or someone just giving act of kindness. We'll see that if you hashtag Give Together Now and you tag Stand Together Foundation, you post it on any social channel, and we will pass along $500 on your behalf to a family that's really been in need. And so, Randy, to what you're talking about, you know, we know that people have to take care of themselves, but once you're able to take care of yourself, if you can't financially give, that's okay. You can always give to someone else. I think that's part of your mantra as well.
Yes, 100%. Listen, whomever that person is that donated that $2.5 million for acts of kindness, those are the real people. I love them. I don't know who they are, but whoever you are, man, bless you. That's how you do it. You just start with trying to get people just to love one another.
Yes.
Can we just start with, like, forget everything that you've been taught, everything that you know. Can we love one another? Oh my God. Wow. Dude, I love these people. These are my people. Tell them I say, what's up, man?
So we have one of the questions is from CD Zoner. You know, what's your favorite bass line in a song?
Right now, I don't know why, but as soon as you said that, in my head popped Good Times by Chic. I don't know why. I don't know why. It just popped into my head. The great Bernard Edwards, the late great.
Do you have music?
That bass line is crazy, man. It was in a bunch of songs by a ton of people. Queen. I mean, just amazing bass line.
Mm. Do you have music always on in your mind, or how do you find calm with all the music that's happening around you?
I listen a lot. I always have music and songs in my head. I try and be free with it. I've learned over time just to, once again, be that open receptacle and just let it come in. And calm is when I just don't listen to any music at all for like days. I just take a break from it. I don't want to hear any music if I don't have to. Or, you know, I just tune it out for a second because, you know, moderation is that other good key of life, right?
John Track says, what producer inspired you when you were growing up?
Well, Tom Dowd, who became a mentor of mine, of course. All of the Motown guys. I mean, the Holland Dozier Holland Boys. I mean, Gamble and Huff. I mean, Tom Bell, Linda Creed. I mean, all the Stevie stuff, all the Marvin Gaye stuff, all the, I mean, just all of it. I mean, the great Joe Busby with Chocolate City that had Parliament Funkadelic Sign. I mean, had like, you know, all these great, I mean, any of those greats that made those records. I read through the liner notes, who played, who produced, what studio. I really was a study of the whole entire craft. So I salute all those people that are part of making such unbelievable lifetime music.
All right, I love this question. I love this one. All right, Spark Red Gill says, who would be your super band? All right, talking about drums, bass, guitar, keys, and vocals. I mean, you can give me the vocals. I'll take that. Now I know. Now you got to tell me the drums, the bass, you know, the guitars, and the key. You could take, maybe you take the bass. You got to fill in the rest.
No, man, I couldn't do it, man. It's like picking your favorite songs, your favorite artists, you know, your favorite painting. I couldn't do it because there are so many greats, a lot of which I mentioned on this Instagram Live thing. I mean, there's so many unbelievable talents. I couldn't even put together the ultimate band. There'd probably be 15 bass players, 20 drummers, 30 guitar players, 20 keyboard players, 100 singers. I mean, you know, singers. I mean, Mariah, Whitney, I mean, Kim Burrell, I mean, Smokey Norfolk, I mean, the great from Boys to Men, Wanya Morris, I mean, her, I mean, Tori Kelly,
you should just get a whole chorus and put them all together.
The kid, John J.C. Reynolds, I mean, all the gospel ones are just killing the game. The Reverend Marvin Sapp, I mean, all the Winans, man, Reverend Winans, my God. I mean, the Clark sisters, you just saw the documentary. I mean, dude, What do you draw the line? You got Aretha, you got, I mean, what? Come on, man. What's the
But
group? Dirty Loops? If you guys don't know Dirty Loops, you should check them out. These guys are unbelievably talented. The singer's ridiculous. I mean, I'm just saying.
Maybe we can get Dirty Loops to perform on Stand Together Live. Before we sign off, is there anything that you just want to leave us with? I mean, you've given us so many different nuggets and moments of wisdom. What's anything in particular you just want to leave us with today?
Let's all make sure out there we're doing our part to stand together, to help each other, either inspirationally, emotionally, financially, whatever you can give. We got to, and we will get through this, and hopefully this makes us all a better country, better people for it, and we learn and understand and come out of this with the utmost compassion and the utmost humility for ourselves and our fellow brothers and sisters.
Randy, I can't thank you enough. It's been an honor to spend time with you. As I said to you just a couple minutes ago, the wisdom and nuggets that you've brought to us today has been inspirational. The way that you have transcended the world of music, but then most importantly, how you've transcended yourself and become better over time. We can all take that to heart, because during the time when we sit at home during COVID-19, we can all become better. And it's about us, but it's also about our communities. That's what we talk about, Stand Together. So thank you so much. I hope everybody's been really inspired today by Randy Jackson's story. I can't believe we're talking to Randy Jackson.
Yo, appreciate you having me, man. Thanks, dog.
So thank you so much. I hope everybody's able to go to www.givetogethernnow.org and contribute. Remember, you can always give an act of kindness, #GiveTogetherNow, and tag Stand Together Foundation. It's all about the community. It's all about those around us and helping others. So, Randy, thank you so much. And I will talk to you later. I appreciate it again.
Thank you, brother. Stay blessed and stay safe. Appreciate you.